With AD returning to form to an extent, would you say that this puts life in the Lakers' playoff hopes?
I mean, yeah, I would definitely say that there's definitely a little bit more life than when there was probably a month ago. Things were looking awful with being a part of the Los Angeles Lakers about a month ago. I mean, the team got off to a terrible start, and there were a lot of rumors, reports circulating around. It's like they needed to trade Russell Westbrook immediately based off of how ineffective he was to start off the year. And I will say, I will give them credit because I didn't give them a lot of hope going into the season. And when they started off the way that they did, I thought that you could basically just write off the season as just an outright failure because it really did look that way. But I have to say, Anthony Davis has just really taken the league by storm. He's taken the team by storm with how effective he's been, I'd say, over the last month. I was looking over his individual stat lines from the games that he's played in for basically the last month. And every game that he's played in so far, since let's say the first or second week of November, he scored 25 points or more in every single game. And it's basically culminated in this game that they just played against the Wizards this past weekend, where he dropped a double nickel. He dropped 55 points and has just been a one man wrecking crew for the Lakers. And I would say it's about time because when it comes to Anthony Davis, the rumors, the jokes have just been flying off the handles for the last couple of years when it comes to Anthony Davis and not being able to hit the court because he's always in street clothes because he's never out there because he's dealing with some sort of injury. Well, I can't say that about them. I can't say anything about him this year in that regard. He's been there on the court and he's playing at such a high level that I got to give the guy respect. This is probably the best stretch of basketball that I've seen Anthony Davis play as a member of the Laker since he first arrived. And that includes some of the stretches that we saw him play in that championship run where the Lakers won in the bubble against the Miami Heat because he was phenomenal in that playoff run for them. And since then, he's largely dealt with a bunch of lingering injuries. This year in particular, that's not the case. This is the healthiest I've seen him look in years. He looks confident. He's bringing a level of swagger that we haven't seen from him in the last couple of years. And I think he was the one out of the entire group that just had enough of the inadequacies and the inconsistency and the incompetence that really mired the Lakers in the first month of the season because I think he was just sick of losing. And I think there could have been even rumors of him potentially being traded a couple of weeks ago. I think even I floated that idea around. I was of the mindset if they were going to trade somebody, it would be Russell. But, if you weren't able to trade Russell, I mean, AD's name could have popped up here and there, some trade rumors. But, when it comes to the Lakers, a lot of their success lately has been predicated on Anthony Davis. LeBron James, when he's been available, has been playing very solid lately. It's just the injury issues have been kind of a lingering matter as well with him. So, I mean, that kind of comes with the territory. He's in his late 30s. He's going to be more injury prone than he was in his late 20s. That just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. But overall, the Lakers are in a better space now than they were a month ago. They still are a sub 500 basketball team, but they are trending in the right direction. I believe they're in 12th place in the Western Conference, but if they're able to pull off another couple wins here and there, get above 500, that will definitely improve their playoff seeding. We still have a long way to go. We're not even at Christmas yet, and as far as I see it, the NBA season really doesn't start ramping up until Christmas anyway. So if they could get a little bit of a hot streak here before we head into these Christmas games, at least that will put them in a better position in the Western Conference. But I'm still of the mindset when it comes to the Lakers, if they were to make the playoffs, I think it would still be an early exit simply just because there's too many good teams in the Western Conference. You got teams like the Suns, you got teams like Golden State. I know that the Mavericks are kind of down in the dumps right now, but I'm not going to count them out either. You still got teams like the Nuggets. I mean, there's still a boatload of teams that you have to contend with in the Western Conference. And as far as I see it, the Lakers are a team that is playing better, but you put them in a playoff scenario where they have to go up against younger teams, where those teams are younger, they're hungrier. I just don't see the Lakers coming out on top in those scenarios, but we'll see how things go. But I have to say, just to kind of round this out, 80's been phenomenal. Hopefully, it continues for my sake. And hopefully it leads to wins and hopefully a better playoff position as far as I see it. But Kev, I'll let you take the floor from here.
I'm just gonna go over the slate of his most recent games because Kyle already talked about the depth of what it means for the Lakers as to the performance of Anthony Davis. So, in order from his most recent game, 55 and 17, 44 and 10, 27 and 12, 25 and 13. He didn't play against the Spurs on the 26th. Now, I don't know if that was because they were resting him, because he was sick, whatever it is. I know that he's healthy in the sense of he has not been hurt. So I would assume it's one of the two in terms of like a sickness or they rested him. Then right before the game he missed, 25 and 15, 37 and 21, 30 and 18, 38 and 16, 37 and 18. For the season, Anthony Davis is averaging upwards of 28 and a half points on 59% shooting from the field, 12.8 rebounds, basically 13 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists, a steal and a half, and 2.5 blocks. MVP numbers. I know that Luka's averaging over 30, Tatum's averaging over 30, and a couple of other players are playing at a high level. But when we're talking about a man, like Kyle said, that hasn't been available, that has been scrutinized up and down, that has technically played more games than Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and receives double the shit, I don't understand. I can't fathom or understand how in the world he's having this bounce back year. People have come at AD saying that he's no longer the pillar that he once was. He's no longer a superstar. He never was a superstar. I mean, the narratives have been flying all over the place. And to an extent, it's his own fault, but not really because you can't control injuries. But what I'm trying to get at is now that AD is healthy, people are starting to remember the dominance of why he was originally compared to Giannis in the sense of who is better before Giannis had won a championship. But Anthony Davis is no scrub. When he is 100% ready to go physically, and of course he is available, there are few to little power forward slash centers that I would take over him because of his ability to put the ball on the floor, can shoot the mid range, can span out to the 3 point side as well. By the way, he's shooting 33% from the three. Once again, let's remind everybody he is a power forward slash center. So before people bash him, oh, that's under league average or whatever the hell they're going to say, he's a big. So he doesn't have to shoot that. And he's still putting up points like this. But to close this out, if Anthony Davis continues to play at this level, Russell Westbrook has embraced his role off of the bench. LeBron James has been playing well since he's come back from injury. They just need a couple of role players to dish out 8, 10 points here, 5, 8 rebounds here. Patrick Beverly plays solid defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't have to go out and score 40. They need to do their jobs. Let the three-headed monster that is Russ, Braun, and AD do what they do best. But if AD continues to play like this, the offense needs to continue to funnel through him, and everybody plays off of him. Congratulations. I'm happy to see AD healthy. I'm happy to see him put these rumors of potentially trading him to rest, at the same time changing the narrative. When he's available, we all know what he's capable of. I think he should be considered for the MVP in terms of like early season MVP because of how he's played over the course of the last month. But overall, kudos to the Lakers for turning this around this early after the tough start that they had. But when you have AD playing like this, it's hard not to get excited again if you were a Laker fan. Again, I know Kyle put it a little bit more modest because there's so much time left in this season, but I wish my team was playing this well. Luka's playing well. Don't really give a shit because it's not translating into wins. But again, for the sake of the content or the sake of the segment, AD's playing well and the Lakers are playing well, and I think that's the perfect formula for them.